Hi, my name is Callie O'Brien, and this is my journal entry number 3. I grew up in a middle-class family where we never had everything we wanted, but we always had what we needed. My parents emphasized the value of education, and there was never a question about whether I would go to college. It was kind of an expectation. We had internet at home, a quiet place to study, and my parents could afford to pay for extracurricular activities, tutoring, SAT prep, and multiple college visits. However, I didn't think of those things as luxuries at the time. I thought they were normal. It wasn't until high school that I realized how much economics shaped educational experiences differently for others. I volunteered in a tutoring program at a nearby under-resourced elementary school, and I met students who didn't have basic supplies, let alone access to outside help. Some had never used a computer at home. I remember feeling confused and even guilty and kind of humbled. How could students be expected to perform on the same tests when they didn't even start from the same place? This reminded me of Jay McLeod's research in Ain't No Making It, especially his findings about how class influences not just opportunity, but belief in what's possible. Like the hallway hangers. Some of the kids I worked with didn't think higher education was realistic for them. Not because they weren't smart, but because it just wasn't for them. This idea was so different from my experience, where education always felt like a given. My situation was similar to Jay's research in the sense that I saw how students' aspirations were shaped by their environments, but different because I didn't feel the same structural barriers myself. I observed them from the outside. At the end of the interview, Jay shares a hopeful story from Mississippi where people began working toward income equality through community-centered practices. I found that really powerful, and I agree with his idea that real change comes when we build systems that are equitable and collective. What I saw as a student tutor made me realize that income equality isn't just about who has more money, it's about how the systems either lift people up or hold them back. Looking back, I wish more schools and communities had programs that connected students across class lines. Maybe if more middle-class students, like me and the people that I hung around with, understood how different things were for others, they'd be more involved in changing the system, just like I began to be when I opened my eyes to it. And for my map, we have the third stop, which I just drew me with a nice looking backpack or purse, a nice new bracelet, new school shoes, and then as I entered high school, this is kind of me thinking about everyone else and thinking that these are luxuries. I was taking advantage of things and only realized when I opened my eyes to see how everyone else was affected.